good morning, and welcome to a fine May 27th. And you know what? This is the PBEX channel, Phoenix Business Exchange. And this is the East End edition, and we meet every 8 to 9 Eastern. In fact, let me share a screen with you and walk you through what's happening in this universe. So you should be seeing the Phoenix website, pbex.ca. Click any of these red buttons here, Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday for the respective day, 8 to 9 Eastern, and come on in. Monday mornings is Bell's Corners, today, East End, and Thursdays, the South End group. At the very top, we have Kat's e-card. You click that, and you get to find out who Kat's all about and how to reach out to her. In fact, click the YouTube, and it explains what she does. She helps social media marketing get your message out there. She also works within Phoenix and provides support in that space. After Hours Group. We met yesterday. Too late. All right, got to wait till the end of June. And actually, it's going to be June 29th that we're meeting. It's going to be a Monday the next time. Upcoming member events. And that's something Kat helps populate up in the information. If you are a Phoenix member, if you are a member at all in the general public in business, and you want to be able to promote your stuff, come on in here and talk to us and become a member. You too can be promoting your content there. Canada Growth Network is meeting Mondays at 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern. Free event to attend. We have different guests, and I will share that guest information ever so shortly. East Trade Winds is also meeting every Tuesday, 8 to 9 Eastern. And again, free to attend. And different guest speakers are coming in. They're talking about business matters. Bell's Corners at Hive is meeting June 15th in person and online at 7:30 a.m. Eastern. At Hive is at 1745 Courtwood. South End is meeting on June 25th in person and online at 7:30 a.m. at the River Lounge, just south of Hunt Club on the on the park, not the Parkway. That'd be the wrong place. Prince of Wales. That's it. Yeah. I don't want to send you to the wrong part of the city. QR directory for all members. Click here. If you hear somebody talking, going, "Hey, I want to know more about that," fire up the button here and go for it. Our account of using our e-cards is 196 year to date. You'll see the QR code over my shoulder. We have a special link, and that was the thing that I was showing you earlier with Kat. Right? How to reach Kat. That's all based off the e-card. We've done over $5 million worth of business since 2016, just between members. All right. So that's the amount of business. And that's not outside of the membership. All right. Year to date is $25,363 of transactions conducted between members. And I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to swing over to the educational minute. And I'm going to look at Tony because we really didn't coordinate this out of time, but I know Tony always has something he can share. Tony, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Bernie. One of the things we in business we're always being bombarded with is that if we can do a better price on something, whether it's mechanical, whether you work on your business through a percentage, whatever it is, people are always looking for a deal. And there's nothing wrong with working with a deal as long as all things are equal, as long as everything that you're providing is the same as everybody else. So whether you're selling the same speaker, whether you're selling the same thing and there's no other service, then price becomes an issue. If you have a service, it's much more able to be distinct. So if somebody says, like you have most of the services are around, let's say $500, but they say that, would you do it for $400? Now, when you get that, it doesn't mean you have to match the price, but you could say something like, look, if all things were equal, obviously you're asking me, you're not asking the person that is cheaper, you're asking me to match a competitor or something. So if I could match the price, if all things were equal, would you do business with us? And the person would say, absolutely. So in other words, all things are not equal because you're wanting something to do with me. So what is it about me that you are attracted to? And they might give you a list like, your sessions are longer, or you get more done in less time, it's more efficient, the delivery's better, you're actually sometimes less expensive, and you're honest when things are, if something is broken in your car and you figured, oh, I could do it for a lot less once you get my hands in there, then anyway, they give you a list of all the reasons why they do business with you. So then you turn around and just simply say, well, isn't it worth the extra $100 to do and be able to do business with me? In other words, instead of selling the $500 package, you go down to the gap. What is the gap that really is the issue? It's easier to sell a $100 gap than a $500 service. Does that make sense? So in other words, you're looking at what is the difference between you and the market and what the better price is, but is it worth the extra 100 or whatever to do business with you? Realtors are much the same. Sometimes realtors will go, and I've seen it as low as 1.5% commission for one realtor. And I said, why would you do that? That's because they don't do anything. I found out after that because their prices are so low, they list with them. And because they don't do anything, what ends up happening is the other realtor on the other side does all the work. Because you're not there for the showing, you're not there for the follow-up, you're not there for the encroachment, you're not there for the home inspector, and on it goes. Well, of course, if you don't do anything, you're worth only 1.5%. So the idea is that you do always, the saying goes, you get what you pay for. And that's what it is. Unfortunately, it's not that great for the other realtor that now has to do everything. Oh, I'm going on holiday, or whatever excuse that would be. And then the other realtor wants to service their client, so they end up doing the work of the other realtor, and that happens all the time. That's what I'm being told anyway. So only Wendy will be able to corroborate that. But the issue is here, when you have your price, the reason it's there is because it's worth it. You need that because of the service that you do. If you do a lot less, it's not worth as much. But where some people get into problems is they don't do anything, they don't do a lot, but they still want the higher price, and that's where they get caught. Those aren't in business for usually very long. So if you are in that era where something is happening, don't fall for it. Do the person a favor and send them the cheaper business with other people that want it cheaper, because they will soon realize, and Eric Senego can verify this, that many businesses in the first year, they don't know they're about to go bankrupt because they see the money coming in, but they don't see the overall cost in it. So that's your education for today. Back to you, Bernie.
Thank you so much. And the first quick prompt is East Trade Winds. Vanessa Burns is talking next week. She does grant funding and branding, and she does international. So she's based here in Canada on the East Coast, and but she can be servicing you anywhere. And I'm going to do the introductions. So I'm going to start off with Kat. Kat, over to you, ma'am.
Hey everybody. So today I want to take my business from a different angle, or talk about my business from a different angle, I should say. So you hear every week, every day, if you come more often than that, that I do social media. The thing is, yeah, that's one of the main things I do, but it isn't the only thing I do. So the thing that I enjoy doing the most, not because I don't enjoy the other stuff, because I totally do, I like to look at strategy with people. So I like to learn about your business. So the most exciting thing about being in the marketing space is that I get to learn about you and your business. And then what I do is I work through with clients a strategy. So what do you need to do? Do you need to use social media? Do you need to have blogs? Do you need to update your website? Do you need to consider changing the avatar, the target audience you're talking to, all of that kind of stuff? Because what I've discovered is people know how to run their business and they are very good at the business that they're in, but they don't have time to do all the marketing side. They don't have the experience on how to do it. They maybe don't have the skill set to do it. So what I like to do is work through that strategy with people. So who do you know who has a business that it's kind of like Tony was saying earlier, kind of all over the place. And it's not all over the place because they're not good at what they do. It's just they don't know how to put their business out to the public. And they just need a bit of strategy, a bit of structure in their marketing process. Because whoever that person or people are, that's who I would like to connect with and see if I can straighten them out and get them some more money. Thank you.
That's awesome. And I'm going to swing the mic over to Wendy next.
Good morning, everyone. Wendy Chung, real estate broker with Century 21 Synergy and the Ottawa House and Condo Group. It's great to see everybody this morning. The market is certainly moving. Again, what Tony touched upon earlier today in terms of commission, it's all about value add when you are serving your clients. So I think that we all have a responsibility to demonstrate the value that you bring to the table when someone is considering.
Always the peanut gallery. Always the peanut gallery, right?
I'll come back to you.
Not a problem. Tony, over to you.
Thank you very much, Bernie. Hi, everybody. Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group, meaning I'm a medium, clairvoyant. I give readings. I give personal tuning sessions using different frequencies, whether it's tuning forks, which is my main thing. That I'm a master at that. And other frequencies just to be able to take care of various traumas, various blocks that people have, whether it's they don't think they're enough, or and the list just goes on about they're feeling off in some way energetically. Some people will just feel that they're just not positioned properly. So those that know how I work, I don't beat around the bush. We get right to whatever it is that's going on. I probably have the worst model for business, meaning that when people come in, they might only have to come in once, maybe twice, and they're good to go. It's not that they have to come in for years. It's always something very different every time that they do. So I do sound baths, looking at gongs, and it's a 2-hour, basically a meditation. And if you bring a question to yourself, by the end of it, you'll probably will have an answer because it's coming out of you. And that's what we do in a reading. Person that has the answer within them, you already have the answer. Many people already know. How do we know? Well, you could test it by flipping a coin. It says, okay, if it's going to be heads, I'm going to go and do this, and if it's tails, I'm going to do that. And the moment they flick the coin, they already know the answer, and when it comes down. So because intuitively, when you just leave it up to the universe, you already know it because you're connected to it. So we do that in such a way that we give you more value and be able to connect to yourself in a way that you can connect and you can find the answers on your own when in that situation that you're in. Okay, so it doesn't matter what it is, whether you have any legal troubles, health problems, wealth, whether it's something that you're not sure what to do in an uncertain situation. We can provide insight and clarity for it, so you can move on. So you're not guessing. Okay. So Tony Jennis from Higher Self. We are here to raise your spirits. Ongoing business with Eric Sinego, as per usual. He does all of our taxes. Josh Glam on the IT section, and had of course ongoing with Kat all the time, always talking to her. And Bernie, I was in your East Trade Winds meeting there yesterday, so that was wonderful. Great group though you have there. Awesome job, yeah. So that's me.
Tony, thank you so much. And I'm just going to quickly do a side promo for Jacqueline Richards, who can't make it today. And she's the Wealthy Yogini, and she helps you find your mortgage if you're in the province of Ontario. So reach out to Jacqueline, and she's also will tell you just let your shoulders down and breathe out and just relax. And there you go. For me, I tell you to put the air in the lungs and start talking. So I do podcasting. And in that, podcasting is a help share your details, help your marketing reach, enhance your SEO. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, have a chat with me. That's the ticket. Also, I posted in the chat for the Canada Growth Network. Vance Morris is talking, and he's going to be talking about how not to lose your customer base because they're gold, all right? It's one thing to acquire new customers, it's another thing to keep the ones you got. And we've had that chat before. And we also had Vanessa Burns, who's out there for talking about these trade winds and how to get that money. And it's understanding that whole art of it. And without getting into a longer soliloquy, I'm going to stop and swing the mic maybe over to Wendy, so Wendy can do the fait accompli. Over to you,
Thank you.
Wendy.
Thank you very much, everyone. Sorry about the interruption. So again, yeah, we were talking about value. So don't be afraid of your value. Definitely demonstrate the value to a potential client and show them what you can do for them. And hopefully they will see that it's not just on the bottom dollar. It's about the support, the guidance, and everything that goes along with it. So I get involved quite intensely with my clients, even offering to help them wipe down their windows or help them, pack boxes, whatever the case might be. I'm always there to support my clients. So if you know of anyone that's looking for that type of support, please let me know. I've got ongoing business with Kat and Susan Ebb. Thank you.
That was quick and clean. Wendy, thank you so much. And now for our main act. For the love of cars, for the love of Sam. Go ahead, Sam. Over to you, sir.
For the love of Sam?
For the love of
Thank you,
Sam.
Bernie. Good morning, everyone. There's my contact information in the chat. Okay. Has anybody noticed the price of gasoline going up lately? Maybe one or two people.
Yeah, it seems like an auction.
And as a result of that, I don't know if you are like me, you're starting to think about alternatives to gasoline run engines, EVs or say hybrids to maybe save some money when it comes to the cost of fuel to drive your vehicle. Well, we're fortunate enough today to have someone who actually has a hybrid vehicle, and actually sounds like she's had two now, and she has some experience when it comes to that. I don't because I've never had a hybrid vehicle. I've worked on hybrids, I've worked on EVs, but I've not owned one. So Wendy has volunteered to help me, maybe answer some questions from myself and from you when it comes to ownership of a hybrid vehicle. Let's see here. So, Wendy, if you don't mind, what hybrid vehicles have you or do you own?
Okay, so back in 2020, I got a Toyota Camry hybrid. And so that was my first experience owning a hybrid car. And what I found was that I wasn't spending as much money on gas. Because from my understanding of the way a hybrid car works, it switches between the electric battery, the lithium battery, and also the gas powered that's going into my engine. So I owned it for 5 years. After that, I was able to get a very good trade-in value, and I currently own a 2025 Crown Signia from Toyota, and it's also a hybrid. So it's more like an SUV. And I love the hybrid car because I feel that I'm not putting gas in it as often as I was with a full gasoline tank.
Okay, thank you. So, your overall experience with hybrids when it comes to owning them as compared to gasoline engines?
So I've always had different vehicles, and I don't know. I like the way the hybrid vehicle is extremely quiet when it's running. People barely know that my car is on if I'm parked right beside them. It's only when I go into reverse that there's a specific beeping sound will then notify people that I'm reversing, because I believe that in the past, because the vehicle is so quiet, without that additional sound, people might get hit, right? Or they're just very shocked.
So what is the best thing when it comes to owning hybrid? Is it the gasoline or is it the quietness or what?
You know, it's a combination of both. I love that it's quiet. I love the ride. I love the fact that I'm not having to refill my tank as often as I do with the full gasoline vehicle.
So any negatives when it comes to owning a hybrid vehicle? Is there anything negative?
Not that I can think of. I personally would not go full electric. That's just my opinion, just of the way everything's going, and having to drive long distances. I find that my vehicle is great on the highway. I get really good mileage, Sam. So maybe that's another bonus. But I can't think of anything negative.
Okay. What about surprises, things that you didn't expect, but positive surprises when it comes to owning the hybrid?
I actually didn't do a whole lot of research, but I know that, Sam, I spoke to you before getting my vehicle. We talked about a little bit about hybrid, and I know that with Dave Belleville, he kept telling me to go full electric. So I went for a ride in his car. We also put on the mode where it self-drives, which was pretty freaky. But at the end of the day, I decided to go hybrid, and I'm very happy with my choice.
Okay. I know at one point when you first got your Camry that I think there was a vent or something or other that was needed, and you told me that it you set off a warning. Can you explain that a little bit further for everyone?
Yeah, so there was a vent in my vehicle in the back area, which allowed the lithium battery to be able to breathe, I believe. That's what they said. It was underneath the seat, in the back seat. But nobody told me that it was there. So I have so much junk in my car that I blocked it. So there wasn't that air circulation. So once somebody educated me, I made sure that that area was always clear. But I did have to change the filter where that vent was, because I had blocked it for so long. So I guess, you know, when I bought that vehicle, I bought it from a dealership out in Alberta, because my husband, one of his high school friends, owned a dealership out there. So he was able to sort of help me negotiate and have it built and then sent up from the US to here and have it delivered. So had I been given the proper education of owning a hybrid vehicle, I would have known early on that I wasn't supposed to block the vent. But again, I didn't do a whole lot of research, but having driven one for the past 6 years, a hybrid vehicle, I'm really, really happy with a hybrid vehicle.
Now, I took a hybrid vehicle out, man, well, probably about 10 years ago, a Camry, and I experienced where it kicked over between the gas engine and the electric, and it was quite a startle for me when it came to when it kicked over. There was quite a noise. Does that still occur in a hybrid vehicle with the one you have? No.
No, it's very seamless. And sometimes, you know what, Sam, I'll press on the mode that allows me to see it switching between the gas and the battery. And then sometimes it's really cool, like the diagram shows how it powers the four wheels, because I have an all-wheel drive right now, right? So it shows you with a green sort of like electric light going into the wheels and how it's being charged and how it's being moved.
So as far as you're concerned, that shaking that is no longer
There's no
happening.
shaking.
No shaking. Okay,
Yeah, for
that's good.
me, it's seamless. I can barely feel it. It's a very, very nice ride. Very nice ride. Yeah.
Okay. Between your first the Camry and the one you have now, have you noticed any changes between the two vehicles that you've owned that were hybrid?
Well, the first one I owned was a Camry, So it was more of a sedan, so it's lower to the ground, right? And then this one is more on the SUV, so it's higher up. So I just, for me, the height difference made a difference. I like driving slightly higher than lower. And it also makes a difference in the snow. When there's a lot of snow on the road, I just felt that I wasn't getting as much traction. And also, my Camry was not an all-wheel drive vehicle. So there are some differences in the vehicle itself.
So, as you mentioned there, your Camry was not all-wheel drive, but your current one, the Crown, is all-wheel drive. Have you noticed the change that way when it comes to driving in, say, inclement weather like snow?
Yeah, I find that it's a very smooth ride. I don't have any issues at all. Now I did find extended warranty for my vehicle, so the only mechanics that touch my car are from the dealership, like Toyota certified mechanics, just because it is a hybrid and there might be other moving parts. There's a lot of electronic parts to it, of course. So I just don't have any trust in a regular mechanic who might know all the ins and outs. So because I rely on my car as much as I do, I definitely prefer just to have a very qualified mechanic take a look at it.
Okay, last question, and then other people can ask questions. Would you recommend hybrid vehicles to others?
100%. Yeah, I think it's a great vehicle. I like the technology. I like the idea of having it switch between the two. Also, when my gas tank is almost empty or to be empty, I don't panic as much because I know that the vehicle will take care of itself. It's a smart vehicle, and I don't have to rely completely on one type of fuel or the other type of charge. And it's not a plug-in, by the way. It just runs on its own. I don't have to plug it into anything.
Actually, that was my last question I thought of was the plug-in hybrid. I've been talking to people that have them, and they say, well, they get better range. They get more distance with the plug-in as compared to the plain hybrid, the gas hybrid battery. Are you familiar with anything that way?
No, I'm not. I didn't opt to do any plug-in vehicle because I just feel it's an extra step that I need to do. But anyway, yeah, no, I'm very pleased with my vehicle. I definitely recommend it. In fact, my vehicle is a little bit rare because I chose a bronze color, and that's very unusual. And because I chose that color, it had to be built in Japan, and it was shipped here to the dealership. But I saw one other vehicle just like mine in Ottawa. But other than that, I get a lot of compliments from people. People have no idea what kind of vehicle it is. But I've gotten a lot of compliments for both men and women just in a parking lot saying, what is this car? You know, it's beautiful and all that good stuff. So I definitely recommend the Crown Signia, a hybrid SUV. I think it's a fantastic vehicle. And I know that even though I have a 5-year lease, I have a feeling the dealership is going to make me an offer to bring it back earlier because I don't know how many of these vehicles they're going to be building. Because from my understanding, the mining of lithium is getting more and more challenging in terms of building these type of batteries or for vehicles.
Okay, I'll open up questions to other people that might have them. Anybody have a question for Wendy when it comes to owning a hybrid?
Is the car heavier?
You know what? I don't know. I never weighed it.
Well, no, just let it roll over your foot. You'll get a quick sense of that if you're so inclined. No, the reason I'm asking that is if you would have more traction, and what Sam has pointed out past with electric cars, with Dave's, is that he's got to have special tires.
Yeah,
And
I do
and
have
where
big tires on mine, Bernie. I think they're 18 inch, I believe. But when I went to shop for winter tires, I went for the same size because I wanted to keep the same ride. It was recommended to me to try to keep the same size or just go down just one notch. But yeah, it is a big vehicle. I do believe it is heavy. The doors are nice and heavy and steel. Like I feel very comfortable and protected in this vehicle. It's definitely not flimsy, but there's some good weight to it.
One last question from me, from the battery and the venting. So things blocking the vent, I get that part, and you're getting an alert on that. What happens if you're like, is in winter when we get in and out of the car, right? Salt follows us and becomes dust-borne. Is that an issue too, or do they caution you about that, or is that something to be mindful of?
Yeah, that's a great question. No, no one's given me any warning about that. But now that I know where the vent is, I make sure it's always clear, and I don't leave my windows open at any given time unless I'm driving. But as soon as I come to a full stop, all windows go up just so that there isn't any pollen and dust flying into my car. So I don't think that that's an issue, and I really take care of my car extremely well. Although I haven't yet been able to commit to Sam to do any kind of detailing yet, I definitely try to keep my car clean all the time by running it through Halo Car Wash. I think you're familiar with that. And I also use their vacuum. I just really try to keep my car clean because at the odd time I do drive clients around, especially clients who are flying in from out of town and or out of country, and they're relocating here. Sometimes they don't get a rent a car, so I will pick them up and chauffeur them around while we're looking at places. But in general, I don't take many people in my car, but I do keep it clean.
Okay.
Anybody else have a question for Wendy?
Cat.
My question's probably not for Wendy, it's probably more for you, Sam. Only because Wendy was very clear that she uses a dealership, so I might be better placed to ask you this question. So in the UK, we have a number of what I would call local independent garages, and they do not, as a rule, like to touch hybrid vehicles because they rate them as very dangerous, because if you cut the wrong cable or you touch the wrong thing, you can get electrocuted, and they're very funny about hybrid cars. Some garages have like one man that'll do it. Other garages won't touch hybrids or electric vehicles. So my question to you is there an issue in Canada with finding somebody who will help, obviously other than yourself, that will help to maintain the vehicle in terms of mechanics?
I don't know if there's issues per se. There might be people that don't want to work on a hybrid, but I mean, I have customers that have hybrids. I change the oil in the car. I do tires for them. Um, when it comes to, say, battery issues, I don't touch that. I would recommend taking it to someone who has an expertise when it comes to battery issues from even the dealership, like Wendy was talking about. I would recommend the person to go there. But there's a lot of similar things on a hybrid that are on any other car. Um, like I say, it does have a gas engine. Usually they're smaller, and you do have to change the oil. So you know that's your oil filter and that. Tires wise, maybe helping Bernie a little bit here. You don't need the big heavy tires that you need in an EV because they aren't as heavy. The electric battery in a hybrid is not as big as they are for a full EV. So they are a little bit heavier than the average car, but not as heavy as a full EV. So you don't need special tires, if I can use that term, special tires on it. Um, so let's see, what am I going to say? Yeah, the weight wise, they aren't that much heavier, but they are a little bit heavier. One of my customers owns a Honda, it's called an Insight, if you know that model at all. It's a hybrid, but it's not a big car. It's say a mid-size sedan. And I change the oil just like I would with any other car. I don't go around the electronics just for fun. I would I would not recommend that unless you know what you're doing. And I don't try. I don't take any risks when it comes to that. And I would refer to a person that's having issues with their battery to a expert when it comes to that.
Yeah, just a quick question, maybe to you, Sam, or to Wendy. Whereabouts is the battery located? Is it under the back seat, or is it in the where the tire is in the back, or whereabouts? Do you know where it is?
Yeah, so the vent for um, the battery is actually the back seat behind the driver's seat. So it's under there somewhere. And it's funny to me because when they were showing me the vehicle when I got it, I don't have a spare tire
Ah,
or a spot for it. So when I lift up the back area, I looked and I said, where's the spare tires? They said, you don't get one in this vehicle because I think that's where the battery is.
okay, okay.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only reason I'm asking is because if you're transporting things like water bottles and anything that contains water, if there's a leak and it goes into the back or under the seat and that area gets any water, there could be a hazard of shorting something out, I guess, eh, Sam? Uh,
Those things are pretty well sealed. They don't want, and exactly that, they don't want water penetrating the battery area. Um, Not that it can't happen if you're in an accident or something like that. That's one of the reasons why cars like Teslas catch on fire. Um, if you're in an accident and the seal is broken and water gets into the battery area, that's when chain reactions happen and these things that you've seen on TV they catch fire and it's a heck of an explosion in some cases. But no, they're sealed up from the factory on purpose to keep. And you can spill your water bottle, or if you have something in the trunk. By the way, the batteries, most of them are behind the back seat. Originally, I think Wendy's first Camry would have been right behind the back seat of the car. Now they're putting them flatter, more like under the car, like a Tesla is. They've changed that, but it is in the back area of the car. That's where the batteries are. Um, More, let's say, the middle back area of the vehicle.
okay, okay. It's just good to know where it is because if the kids drop a milkshake or something in the back seat that it's going to affect that's what I was told anyway. Somebody had mentioned that it's right underneath the seat, and yeah, you don't want to
Yeah,
put any kids back there. I says, but that's where the kids go. Nobody puts them in the front.
yeah. I don't think you have to worry about spillage and things like that. They're well constructed to prevent water from penetrating them. Again, the difference is if you get into an accident and it gets hit, yes, things can open and things can go wrong when that happens. But most of the time, it's not an issue, and you can spill, and your kids can spill something on the back seat. But I did want to press that when he mentioned there is that vent. Originally, they had them close to the floor, and I think that's where Wendy's was when she had the heat problem. Now they're up higher because of the that situation. They have them say up either in the middle of the back seat, sort of right behind your cushion, or they're actually up high in the back, almost in the back window, is where they have that vent. So if you buy a hybrid, please keep aware of where that is and don't block it and do change that filter because if the filter gets clogged, that battery is not getting cooled and it will overheat and you don't want to pay for a new battery in a hybrid or an EV. You're looking at tens of thousands of dollars.
Sam, can I ask you another question that Tony's just put in my head?
Sure.
If the battery's at the back, what's in the front?
Motor.
Well, again, there's a gasoline engine in the front, and then there's a
Okay.
lot of wiring. If you open the hood of a hybrid vehicle, you'll see the engine mostly it's on the passenger side, and you'll see the wiring on the driver's side, and that's where all the controls are to switch between the engine and the electric battery. So that's where the controls are, the brain of the car. So that's what you see when you open a hybrid engine compartment, is all that wiring on the right-hand side than the driver's side.
So
But
surely
the
that
battery
means
itself is in the back of the car.
so that means you can't get into an accident because with a gasoline car, you don't want to hit the front because who knows what will happen if you damage the front. If you've got a battery in the back, you don't want to get hit from the back because batteries explode. So you kind of can get in an accident or you've got a big problem.
Well, I mean, again, most cars, gasoline cars, are the engines in the front. The vast majority of people have an engine in the front of the car. There's a good reason why the engine's in the front too. It's some weight to keep you safe. If there wasn't one, if you do get an accident, it's somewhat protection for you. The batteries, that's why they put them in the back of the car, because exactly that, they can explode if they get damaged and water vapor gets in. That's why they put them behind the back seat and below the car, down low, to keep from having issues when it comes to getting rear-ended. There's some distance between the back bumper and where the batteries are located. Again, they put them right behind the back seat, as low as they can get. So there's some protection that way for the battery itself, but there's no 100% in this world. If you get a bad enough accident, things can go wrong. And if you get hit by a big weighted truck, it's going to damage the back end of your vehicle and put that battery, into jeopardy.
Yeah, that's why it's safer to position the car in an accident where it hits the passenger.
Okay.
Hopefully, there's no passenger. It's just the passenger side, you know.
First of all, I'd like to thank Wendy for her expertise when it comes to owning a hybrid. Hopefully you maybe learn something from that today. I wanted to learn myself from Wendy because again, I don't own a hybrid vehicle. Again, I work on them, but I don't own one. So I wanted to know what Wendy's experience is. Of course, when she told me she's had two so far, I had a feeling that she's been happy with her first vehicle, considering she went and bought another one. So that was good news. But anyway, I wanted to finish on if you're looking at changing, your gas-powered vehicle to something other than that, hybrid is an option, especially in North America here. Um, Again, we're not in Europe where a lot of diesel engines are. Cat has. They aren't as popular here, but they are in other parts of the world. And a diesel engine does get better gas mileage. Just
Mm.
for us in North America, especially where we live, they're very difficult to start in the wintertime. That's one of the drawbacks to a diesel when it's minus 22 degrees in January and February in Ottawa. But other than that, you can always look at diesel engines if you want, but hybrids are becoming more and more popular right now because, well, I think we see the price of gasoline close to $2 a liter. Um, it's and I don't deny it myself. I'm going, hey, it's time to consider options because we travel to our cottage and it's a 7-hour drive and we went there. Was it $230 I paid in gasoline alone to get there and back 2 weeks ago? So that's a fair bit of money when it comes to driving costs. That's it for me. Hope you learned something, or if you didn't, you weren't paying attention.
Sam, thank you so much. Um, Jacqueline and Eric, just do a quick intros and over to you, Jacqueline.
Oh, good morning, everyone. I've missed you. I've been doing lots of stuff with decluttering and refostering myself with my daughter's cats that keep popping in and out. Kind of interesting to be hanging out in another different spot. And I'm so glad to be here. I understand what my clients feel when they are looking to make those changes and move into different locations. And it's great when it's temporary location changes. And that's what we do for them, to find ways to find a space where they can do the, okay, so next step, next step. So when you're looking for mortgage strategies for your mortgage money, or when you're taking your next steps, you need to contact your mortgage honey.
Excellent. And Eric, over to you, sir.
Good morning. Eric Sonego of Cote and Associate Professional Corporation. We are accountants and management consultants. Sometimes we play soccer on Tuesday night, and it becomes very, very difficult to get up at 7:30. Even 7:30, which would be late, 7 o'clock would be. It becomes very. And my wife had to make me out of bed this morning because she was already up. So, and I looked at the clock and it was 8:25, and I said, "Oh my God, where?" And I went to bed early, but everything hurts this morning. I am sorry for my clients who are scheduled to come in today. That's all I have to say. 613-254-7310.
Well, Eric, good morning and welcome, and same to you, Jacqueline. Always good to see two happy, smiling faces, regardless of the torment they're going through, whether it be cats or just hey, it was a workout last night. What happened to me? I'm going to close this off with a quote. The challenges you face introduce you to your strengths, and that's from Epictetus. Epictet, yeah, get that name there. That's in the chat.
Epicus is. I think it's the what,
Let's call him EpiPen. Just call him EpiPen. It's easier to say.
Epictetus. Epictetus, maybe? Epictetus?
Yeah, that's probably it. Epictetus. It's not a name to put on your kids. You don't label a kid with a name like that. You just know it's not going to go well in school.